Get the cream, precious metals or the crypto things. Your bars are light like the one that's on a Smith machine. But my Maxwell and I ain't speaking about the pretty wings. Watch your potty mouth.
It is launch day, October the 1st, 2024, the first day of NXT on the CW. How did it do? Well, it did good. I think it was a really good show. It could have been a great show, but it turned out to just be really good, and I can't complain about a really good wrestling show. The 2 hours breezed by. It looks nice. The building looked real nice. The crowd was kind of lively at parts. I think they kind of they missed their cue a couple of times. But let's talk about some of the changes that they made. For starters, now the NXT logo is silver. So no more gold, no more yellow. Now it's black and silver. The black and silver era. Okay. I don't hate it. It looks crisp. Only thing is, I do kind of prefer NXT to be more colorful. I liked it as the gold brand as opposed to the blue brand and the red brand, but now it's the silver brand. All right. Still don't have a problem with that. They have a new theme song by Lil Wayne and 2 Chainz. I don't hate this. I do believe that they should, again, I say use a more energetic rap song. They keep getting more modern rap songs. Look, I get it. Some people thought like AC/DC sounded dated because it was a song from the 80s or whatever, the song from the 90s. And they don't want that. They want a rap song that's kind of modern. But it's like, I don't know, man. When was the last time the kids listened to 2 Chainz? Like, I don't know. But it featured Lil Wayne, so that's the positive, I suppose. But I didn't hate it. That was the most important thing, is that I did not hate it. They showed a vignette for Delta, the young lady from Australia. They just had her walk in the Warriors Road, I guess. She's going to take her sweet time, walk into NXT from where Mad Max is from, I guess. So that's fine. So we start the show with Triple H and Shawn Michaels. They unveil the new championships, ask us, are we ready for the show? The answer to that is yes. So we kick it off with Julia versus Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's title. Roxanne Perez actually won this match with a little help from a hooded figure. Okay, so the superplex was like a butterfly superplex from the top rope into a pin, which Roxanne Perez kicked out of it because she's bulletproof. It was kind of sloppy, by the way, but it was okay. Northern Lights bomb on the floor by Julia, leading to an almost a near count out. Roxanne Perez hits the pop rocks, but Julia rolls out of the ring. So then the hooded figure comes in, hits a double arm DDT on Julia on the floor, throws her back into the ring so that Roxanne Perez could hit pop rocks and get the pin. It was unexpected, a very unexpected finish. A really confusing finish. We got this really big build-up for Julia, only for her to lose the championship match. This seems, again, to be what Shawn Michaels does. This is a pattern that goes back to the NXT UK days, where Shawn would introduce somebody, they get a championship really early, get a championship match really early, they lose, and then they just double back later. So maybe that's what he's doing here. I'm going to give my full faith and credit to good old HBK that he's going to rectify this. Or at the very least, we're about to see some interesting tag team stuff as Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez actually start working together again. They actually tease that later. So I'm not thrilled about Julia losing, only because I'm kind of tired of Roxanne Perez. She's been champion for a really long time. And it seemed like she was really only champion to drop it to somebody else. But I do also agree that it might be too soon to put the belt on Julia. She's only had one match other than this. So, doing the job for the champion and then doubling back later could make sense. I just wish they would stop rushing people to the title match if that's what you're going to do. I don't like that idea. Make people work for it. There's a locker room full of girls Julia could have worked with and, got them over. before we got to this point, rather than we're just going to throw her in the middle of the title shot immediately and then beat her, and then she's got to start over. I hate that. I don't like that kind of booking. They did it with Carmelo Hayes on SmackDown. I don't like this. I don't like this. You know, we're going to beat you while you have value, and then we'll come back later. It's like, what if the person doesn't survive all this stuff? You know? But I think Julia will be fine. You know, the women's division is deep on NXT, but it's not that deep that she's going to disappear. She's a pretty big signing. There's 2 other big signings, but I think she might be the biggest of the 3 in terms of maybe Stephanie is a bigger star, maybe. But they're teasing that Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez are going to work together again because Cora Jade likes this new side of Roxanne. So let's talk about Cora Jade for a second, because she's from Chicago. She did not get a huge pop when she was revealed. To be quite honest, I think part of that is because she's been gone for so long. She's been gone a really long time. I think she also tore her ACL. Like, NXT has just been the ACL monster. Like, you know, like Cookie Monster eats those cookies. The performance center is just chewing through people's ACLs, just tearing them up. Hamstrings, MCLs, meniscus, eating them all. So Cora Jade was hurt for a long time. She's been gone a long time. And it's an impactful way for her to make a return. You throw her right in the middle of a story, so it's not a waste. And you got something for one of your new girls to do. So now Julia has a challenge, somebody who attacked her for literally no reason. And now once you have Stephanie or whomever is going to get involved, you got a nice little 4-way thing going here. A nice little tag situation to drag this thing out. You can mix it up a little bit. There's more to it, you know. It wasn't just that she worked the match and lost. That's why I'm just kind of not that upset about it. It was pretty clear from the beginning that there's going to be a storyline here. So Fraxian was playing 2K24, and now their new gimmick is that Nathan Fraser has a bad temper. You need to hurry up and get through this. CM Punk talks to Lexis King. He's only going to humor Lexis King because of who his father is. And Lexis King says he doesn't want to be like his dad. He's trying to be like himself. They started to talk, and Punk said that there's 2 computers in the mind of Lexis King. Well, he didn't say 2 computers. He says 2 wolves. You know, basically you have the good guy and the bad guy. I call it 2 computers because that's what Vince McMahon calls it. But basically, Lexis King just wanted to get on screen with CM Punk. He didn't have nothing to say, really. Street fight. Zachary Wentz versus Wesley. Really fun match. Kind of crazy. Wesley took a lot of damage in this match. A surprising amount of damage. But it was Zachary Wentz who stole the show with that one huge bump. So Zachary Wentz does a swanton bomb on Wesley while Wesley is inside of a trash can. It was a crazy spot. Then there was a coast to coast by Zachary Wentz on Wesley. And I remember when that move used to be phenomenal. I also remember that it used to be a finisher. Now people are just busting out of coast to coast like it's no big deal. You know, in like 99, only 2 people on earth was doing this joint. And it was Shane McMahon and Rob Van Dam. Now pretty much every mid-carder in both companies can do it. And it's not even a finish anymore. That's sick. Anyway, Zachary Wentz steals the show as he goes for his big cutter finish. But Wesley shoves him from the top rope, kind of like a springboard. And Zachary Wentz missed the table that they set up. Absolutely destroyed his hip on the floor. The crowd did not give that the reaction it deserved. So that was the second strike on the crowd. The first was not knowing Cora Jade. Second was not really giving them the reaction they deserved when Zachary Wentz hit that damn floor. And it looked like it hurt like hell. The finish was kind of weird. Wesley does a Meteora after tying chains to his knee. Didn't like it. Whatever. Also didn't like it. It seemed like they had both each tied an end of the chain around their fist and punched each other. That was earlier in the match. I didn't like that either. You know, this match was enjoyable, but of course there were things in it that I did not care for. Okay, Wesley wins. Okie dokie. So I guess Zachary Wentz, we don't see him anymore because that would suck. He was fun in NXT. So hopefully he gets another chance to come back. But if he doesn't, it was fun while it lasted. Wesley does need to move on at some point, though. He kind of has to. It's time for him to move up the card, I think. He should be the next challenger for the NXT champion, I think. So Jada Parker and Lola Vice argued backstage about which one of them needed the other one and which one of them was going to beat Fatal Influence. Turns out neither one of them is going to beat Fatal Influence. Shawn Michaels heard that the vice presidential debate was coming on, and then he saw the 9 o'clock hour, and he put 2 and 2 together, and he says, I'm serving dessert at 9 o'clock. You're going to get all the cake you can handle. Jada Parker, she can cheat on my taxes. That's how fine she is. And Lola Vice. Oh my goodness. I mean, he gave it all to you. Full born. Versus Fatal Influence was JC Jane and Fallon Henley. Only problem I have with this match is it seemed a little longer than it should have been. But they worked. It was fine. Jada Parker and Lola Vice kept having some miscommunications. So Jada Parker left her. Just walked right on out. She just turned babyface. Now she's turning heel again. And nobody did anything. And Lola Vice just got beat. So poor Lola. That sucks for her. Again, she was such a hot heel. And then all of a sudden they turn her babyface and she's doing nothing but losing. That sucks. Anyway, somebody's got to lose though. So Fatal Influence get on the microphone, say that they want Kalani because they've been plotting to get her for a while now. Kalani Jordan saw that Jada Parker and Lola Vice was arguing earlier, and she had already prepared the help just in case something happens. And it's Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill who come in and beat the hell out of Fatal Influence right along with Kalani Jordan. They got to stand tall. It was like, big sister, little sister, and baby sister all in the ring at the same time. It was amazing. What a sight. All the black queens to be all in the ring at one time. It was so much fun, right? Got a little promo from Randy Orton saying that he wants to see what Javon Evans got. He wants to give him a chance because Randy himself got so many chances. Javon Evans is a big fan of Randy Orton. Sometimes the legends got to go down. You talking there, to your boy Randy. There's an MTV segment, Miz TV segment, hosting Tony D'Angelo and Oba Femi. This was really good, actually. Tony D'Angelo put over Oba Femi about his strength, his explosiveness, etc. But he's going to put his fear of Oba Femi to the side and win that championship because he's from right here in Chicago. And his family is there. They're in the back. They're in the crowd. They're there to motivate him. And he can overcome anything. Oba Femi says that Tony D'Angelo does not believe the word that he is saying. Said that you can put all the people in trunks you want. You can throw people off bridges. You can get involved in side hustles. But you will never be the North American champion. Because you may have family. They may be here for you, and they may be cheering for you. They may believe in you, but they can't fight for you. Next week is just going to be me and you in this ring. And you know what happened last time you and I were in this ring. Ooh, I like it. Ooh. Oba Femi, he's just put him in the main event now. He should just go and beat Cody Rhodes right now. Just go beat Cody now. He could beat him at a house show. He could beat him in the parking lot. Beat him in the airport hangar, like Crash Holly. Just make him the champion right now. That'll solve all your black people problems. Just get the belt to Oba Femi now. The guy's 100% believable. Tony D'Angelo, I like this guy. I think he's actually pretty good here. I'm a big fan. But Oba shouldn't be losing. I don't know. If he doesn't lose to Tony D'Angelo, I don't know who he should lose to. But I don't think anybody is ready for the Oba Femi title run to end yet. I don't think anybody's ready. At least I'm not ready. I'm far from ready for it to be over. Like I said, I want him to do the Keith Lee joint. I want him to have both belts, holding them in the air simultaneously. That's what I would like. We'll see if we get that. Main event of the evening. Trick Williams defeats Ethan Page to win the NXT Championship. This match was okay. It wasn't the best match of the night. Ethan Page is a very, very mid performer. CM Punk was okay as a referee. He didn't get too involved, but he was still kind of involved. Ethan Page powerbombed Trick Williams through a table. Punk went out there to check on him rather than count. That kind of pissed Ethan Page off, which, makes sense. Later, Ethan Page gets into it with Punk after Punk calls him a son of a bitch. But this was after Ethan Page criticized Punk's counting. So Ethan Page decides to mock CM Punk by using the GTS on Trick Williams. And he kicked out. So Trick Williams kicked out. So the finish, we go into Ethan Page going for the Ego's Edge. Trick Williams escapes. He falls into CM Punk. CM Punk actually catches him. Then Ethan Page runs towards them. They both separate. Trick Williams hits the ropes, comes back with the trick shot knee strike. 1, 2, 3. And Trick Williams is the winner. While confetti falls from the sky, Ethan Page gets up and gets another GTS from CM Punk. And now he's covered in confetti, laying in the middle of the ring in Chicago. The problem with this match that I had outside of Ethan Page is that I didn't feel like the finish was properly built up. The finish seemingly came out of nowhere. Trick Williams was working from underneath, but he never really had a comeback. Like, there's supposed to be like a big, fiery babyface comeback. I don't feel like he had a comeback. I feel like it came across like he won via luck. And fine, at least he won, but I would have liked for them to build it up more. I think they kind of just ran out of time because this show had a hard 10 o'clock out. And so it seemed like they rushed to finish a little bit, maybe because the pinfall happens at 9:59 almost exactly. And as they're showing the executive producers, of which Shawn Michaels is one of them now, wink, wink, you have the GTS, and it's barely caught by the cameras. So it seemed like they just kind of went over. Maybe somebody went over, probably The Miz went over or something. So they didn't have a lot of time for the main event. But it looks good. It seemed like a very solid show. Glad to get out of the Performance Center. I heard, and this is just, gossip, that they actually took down the NXT stuff in the Performance Center. Now, my first thought was they just don't leave that stuff up all the time, and they just took it down because they take it down sometimes, like when they use the rings for other things. But I'm not tripping on that. I don't think every show is going to be on the road because they haven't even announced a show after St. Louis. I know the tickets for St. Louis didn't do so well, which is why they moved it to a smaller arena. But I also don't think that there's going to be another big or off-site venue for NXT after that. So I don't know. But it's an interesting decision. Shawn promised some big surprises. Everybody was expecting the Motor City Machine Guns. It didn't happen, which only means it's more likely to be next week due to the fact that the Tag Team Championships are on the line next week. So if it's going to happen, it's more likely going to happen next week. If it's not going to happen, then who cares? But I think ultimately NXT looked good on the CW. There's a lot of talk about what kind of ratings they need to have in order to be successful. I believe Brandon Thurston is the gentleman who, I guess he told us how, like, the Let me take a look at this. But he said that if NXT got the same ratings that they got on USA, it would be the most watched show on the entire network. And I think NXT actually averaged more viewers in the 18 to 49 or 18 to 34 than the previous top show on CW. So it's ought to be interesting to see where it starts and where it ends in terms of, NXT. Like, I'm going to make a wild guess that the first episode, because of intrigue, is probably going to be excessively high, probably like in the 800,000 range. And then it'll settle down to about the 500,000 or 600,000 range, and then of course it's going to waffle back and forth week to week. But I'm going to guess this one is going to do about 800,000, and then next week it'll probably be like probably like the 720s or something like that. And then it's just going to go down. It's going to settle about week 4. You'll start finding your regular pattern of what this show is going to do. Now, in terms of NXT on the network, Brandon Thurston tweeted out, new episodes of NXT will be available the following day on CW streaming platforms, the CW app, and CWTV.com. A CW rep tells me. However, episodes of NXT that aired before the CW run, which starts tonight, won't be available on those platforms. The entire NXT weekly TV library is now missing from Peacock, possibly due to Universal's rights to that portion of WWE's library expiring. It says PLEs that originally aired on Peacock are still there. I know because I watched one of the NXT pay-per-views earlier. I didn't know that the television had gone. I thought some of those things were going. I didn't know everything was leaving. So he says PLEs that were originally aired on Peacock are still there. The NXT UK library is still there. And he starts talking about Raw, SmackDown, and Hulu. That's nothing we can use right now. Anyway, I hope that the NXT television from back in the day will end up on the CW app. I would hope so. There seemed like a really relevant place for it, because to take it off the Peacock is detrimental, because some people still watch old episodes of NXT. I mean, sometimes I do, for God's sakes. So why would you take it off of Peacock and then, not have anywhere else for it to go? So I would imagine they're going to make some kind of deal to get NXT on the CW app, but they're probably going to just make sure that the current product is doing well first, and then they'll probably upload it to the CW app. At least I hope so, because I do want to be able to still get NXT, the old product, but then again, it doesn't make any sense if you have the TV product, but then you don't get the PLEs, the pay-per-views, PLEs. But then this also begs the question, are NXT's pay-per-views still going to be on CW, or are they still going to be on Peacock? Because to my understanding, NXT pay-per-views are still going to be on Peacock. So I guess that's what it is. I don't know. It's very confusing. But poor Billy Corgan of the NWA got booted from CW, and now they're airing live on on X. And this is all very unfortunate. He seemed to have a little bit of a meltdown afterwards too. But it all happened so fast. Like, the NWA was fine one week. Next thing you know, you're hearing that they're getting booted off and they were landing somewhere else. And it seemed like they're a natural fit for them to go back to YouTube, but nope, it ended up on Twitter. So now they're airing the show live on Twitter, which is not a problem, I guess. It's fine. But the NWA is just being punished. They're being booted and kicked around. And Billy Corgan's got a real bad attitude about it, because people are basically asking him to quit, and he won't. He wants to run this thing, but he's a stubborn guy. He's Tony Khan with less money. He's Dixie Carter with less money. So I guess we'll have to pray on it. We have to pray for them. Anyway, NXT is now on CW. I like the look. It feels good. If it's the same product, they did a great job showcasing all the young talent that they wanted you to see, from Trick Williams and Roxanne Perez and Julia and Wes Lee and Lola Vice and Jada Parker. They really showcased all their top talent on this show. And next week they're going to have a little special treat with Randy Orton and Sexy Red, and I guess we'll get back to regular programming after that. But let me know what you guys think of this. Like, share, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.
No one does it better.